Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into a massive challenge for so many businesses out there. How do you pick the right GPU virtualization for your super demanding video workloads? Let's get into it.
All right, before we jump in, we got to do the important legal stuff. Just so you know, this is Module 10 of a 20-part tutorial, and it's all based on a really in-depth report from Virtualization Options LLC. Now, think of this as a high-level overview. It's not meant to be specific legal, financial, or technical advice for your situation. We really recommend you chat with your own pros before you make any big moves. And just a heads up, licensing is a whole beast of its own. We'll touch on that later, so definitely pay close attention there. So, what's on the agenda today? First, we'll talk about why video data is such a huge deal. Then, we'll look at the special toolkit GPUs have for video. After that, we'll get practical and match the right tech to the right job. We'll also untangle that messy web of licensing, and we'll wrap it all up with a blueprint to help you make the right call. All right, let's kick things off by really getting a handle on the size of this problem. We're talking about a flood of video data, right? It's not just for YouTube anymore. For businesses, video is everywhere, and actually processing all of it efficiently, well, that's a gigantic challenge.
I mean, think about it. Live streaming, video editing, even huge surveillance networks, all of these things absolutely rely on GPU acceleration. They're the heavy lifters here. CPUs just can't keep up with the sheer muscle needed for all that encoding, decoding, and rendering, especially when you need it done now, in real time, and at a massive scale.
So what's the secret sauce here? Why are GPUs so darn good at video? Well, it's not just about brute force. It's actually about a few special tools. Think of them like superpowers that are baked right into the silicon. Let's take a look at the three main ones.
Okay, first up, you've got dedicated hardware encoders. You've probably heard of NVENC from NVIDIA or VCE from AMD. These things compress video at lightning speed. Then you've got hardware decoders on the flip side, which can decompress tons of video streams at the same time without breaking a sweat. And finally, you have all those powerful compute cores. That's what handles all the cool stuff like visual effects, color grading, and filters. Put it all together, and you get performance that is just, well, worlds beyond what a CPU could even dream of.
Now listen up, because this is probably the single most critical point if you're dealing with a lot of video. Your standard consumer GPU, it has an artificial limit, a software lock, on how many video streams you can encode at the same time. But the professional-grade GPUs, they don't have that lock. So if you're building any kind of serious, high-density video setup, this isn't just a nice-to-have feature. It's what makes professional GPUs an absolute must-have. End of story.
Okay, so now that we know what's under the hood of these GPUs, let's connect the dots. How does all this hardware goodness actually help us choose the right virtualization tech? Let's walk through 4 really common video workflows and figure out the perfect tool for each one. First on the list, live production and streaming. We're talking about a live TV broadcast, a huge webinar, anything where people are watching right now. The biggest challenge? Every single millisecond counts. You need a perfect, clean stream with basically zero delay. Any little glitch, any dropped frame, and your whole audience sees it instantly.
So what does that mean? It means you need guaranteed performance. You absolutely cannot have some other random virtual machine on the server suddenly hogging resources and messing up your stream. And that's exactly why GPU pass-through is the go-to recommendation here. It's like giving one VM its own private, dedicated GPU with a direct line to the hardware. No sharing, no interference.
Next up, post-production. Now, this is a whole different ballgame. It's really a two-part challenge. On one hand, you have video editors who need a super snappy, responsive interface while they're doing their creative work. But on the other hand, you have these monster rendering jobs that just need to crunch numbers for hours and hours in the background.
And this is where a hybrid strategy really shines. It's kind of a best-of-both-worlds solution. You can use vGPU technology to let a bunch of editors share one physical GPU for their day-to-day interactive work. That's super efficient. But when it's time for that final, massive render, you give that job its own dedicated pass-through GPU, so it gets all the power it needs without slowing anyone else down. All right, let's switch gears to something like a transcoding farm. The name of the game here is just pure raw throughput. Imagine a factory floor. You've got thousands of video files coming in one door, and you need to churn them out the other side in dozens of different formats and sizes. The only goal is to do it as fast and as efficiently as you possibly can. And because transcoding is a job you can break up into tons of little parallel tasks, it is the perfect use case for sharing a GPU. This is where high-density vGPU profiles are absolutely ideal. You can slice and dice a single powerful GPU into lots of smaller virtual ones, letting you run tons of jobs at the same time. It's all about squeezing every last drop of performance out of your hardware.
Last but not least, let's talk about modern surveillance. This one's really interesting because it's a two-headed monster. You've got this massive job of decoding, say, dozens or even hundreds of camera feeds all at once. But at the exact same time, you need to be running AI on those feeds to look for people, cars, or anything unusual. Okay, so right off the bat, you need those professional GPUs we talked about, because you need that unlimited decode power. But this is also a really cool scenario where something like NVIDIA's MIG, that stands for Multi-Instance GPU, could come into play. What MIG lets you do is chop up a GPU into truly separate, hardware-isolated pieces. So you could give the AI analytics its own dedicated slice of the GPU, guaranteeing it has the resources it needs without ever stepping on the toes of the critical video decoding workload. It's pretty powerful stuff.
Okay, so we've talked tech, we've talked workflows, but before you run off and start designing your system, we need to hit the brakes and talk about something that trips up so many projects, and that is the absolute labyrinth of software and hardware licensing.
And here's the key thing to remember. Licensing is not just one thing. It's a whole stack of things. You've got licenses for the GPU hardware, the virtualization software, the video applications you're using, maybe even your management tools. It's a layer cake of costs and rules, and you have got to dig into every single layer, because the fine print can totally blow up your budget and might even force you to change your entire design.
So, with all of that in mind, let's boil it all down. We're going to put together a simple blueprint, a sort of cheat sheet, to help you make the right call for your video workloads.
This chart really lays it all out, doesn't it? The whole strategy boils down to one simple idea. Match the tech to what you actually need to do. Need rock-solid, low-latency performance for a live show? Go with GPU pass-through. Need to chew through a mountain of files for transcoding? High-density vGPU is your friend. It really is about picking the right tool for the job. It's that simple.
And that brings us to the final question you should be asking yourself. Choosing your virtualization approach isn't just some minor technical decision you can bury in a design document. For video, it's the foundation of your entire strategy. It determines if you're going to be effective, scalable, and cost-efficient. So, is your strategy a real blueprint for success, or is it just a one-size-fits-all compromise that's going to cause you headaches down the road?